In this lecture, we will learn about the KV design language. Kivy actually has its own programming language or design language called KV that allows for fast prototyping and quick changes to your app's user interface. To begin learning the KV language, we need two things. We need a Python file. The one that we have been using so far will work for this. We also need a .kv file, a file of the Kivy file type. If you have ever programmed Android apps in a program such as Android Studio, think of the Python file as the Java file, and then the KV file as the XML file. Let's create a KV file. In PyCharm, we will go to File, New, File, and then name our file. Hold on before you do that. This part is very important. In order for any of the code you write in this lecture to work, you have to follow some very specific naming rules. For example, the class that I've been using in previous lectures in this section is example app. For the KV file, we drop the word app off of the end and change the name to lowercase. So example app becomes example.kv. If you are using the same names as me, then feel free to follow along. If not, you will need to drop the app off the end of the class name, if it's there, and then type the rest in lowercase for the KV file. If you don't do this, the code we are about to write will have no effect at all. Okay, I will name my file example.kv and then hit enter to create the file. It will be created and open up in PyCharm. Our Python and KV files are now side by side in the PyCharm editor. Let's first go into the Python file and delete all of the contents. We're going to create a bare bones skeleton app with Python that it will be up to the KV file to populate. Up at the top of the code, we will import kivy.app. Then we will create a class named example_app. It will extend the kivy.app.app class. Inside of this class, we will implement the build function. Let's add the pass keyword to the function body. Finally, we need to create an example app object and call the run function on it. Now let's run the code. Notice that all we see is a blank screen. This means that anything we see next time we run the code will be coming completely from the KV file. Let's switch to editing that file now. We will click the example.kv file tab. The KV programming language has the concept of rules. A rule describes the content of a widget. Let's add a box layout and then a colon. This adds a box layout, the same type of layout we used in the previous lecture when rendering a button to the screen. Indented underneath this rule, we want to specify a padding value of 200. To do this, we type padding, then a colon, and then 200. After that, we will add a button by typing button, and then a colon. The button will have a text of new button and a font size of 50. Believe it or not, that is all of the code that we need to display a button on the screen, just like we did in the last lecture. Note the difference. When programming in the KV design language, the syntax is much more concise, and writing it is a lot faster than typing everything in Python. Let's run the code. As you can see, there is a button on the screen that says New Button, and we can click the button to see it change to blue, responding to the click. In the next lecture, we will code the hands-on app project that we've been building up to using Python and Kivy.